So what if I were to tell you that a 2016 study shows that 795 million people in the world are going hungry and undernourished each year? Now what if I were to tell you that that number is growing day by day, month in and month out? The number of hungry people and undernourished people in the world is growing. The good news is, farmers across the globe have partnered with modern science not only to increase crop production, but to increase availability and to lower cost. They're using something called GMOs, genetically modified organisms. It's a type of crop that has a plethora of benefits going forward, looking into solving the problem of world hunger. I'm a student studying watershed management at Mansfield University. As part of the environmental sciences, my degree requires that I study environmental issues and things along that line. I've spent a couple years now looking into GMO sciences, and I'm not going to get into the genetic splicing and the molecular science of it. I'm just going to give you the benefits due to time restraints. The first reason these crops are so beneficial is the crop yield, plain and simple. These crops increase production because they're disease resistant, they can be grown year round, and they can be grown in any kind of climate. So traditional plants, when they're being grown, they need a heavy amount of pesticides. The soil needs lots of treatment to prevent diseases from killing their plants. What we do with GMOs is they simply inject these crops with an antibiotic, just as you would a human. And with climate change causing areas to dry out, increase temperature, they're looking for crops that can be grown in droughty conditions, especially in Africa, where most of these hungry countries are. And they've actually put this into implementation already. They're giving countries in Africa soybeans, rice, squash, drought-resistant crops that can be grown. And the other benefit is you can grow GMO crops year-round. If you've ever been to the supermarket in the middle of December and you see corn on the shelves, strawberries, bananas, anything you can think of, well, there's an 80% chance those are GMO crops, and you don't even know about it, and you never would have known about it had you not looked into it. My second reason is that they're better for the environment. One of those reasons is because of pesticide use. Traditional farming methods pretty much require pesticide use at this point in time. One, to prevent diseases like I mentioned earlier, and two, to fight off insects. Well, fighting off insects is important for your crop production, but you got to remember, insects are pollinators, which help with plants across the world. They pollinate. The honeybee population, some of you may have heard, has been taking a huge hit over the past 10 years. And part of that reason is because of farmers using pesticides. They kill honeybees, they kill any insects that might mess with their crops. Problem with that is these insects will actually become more resistant to these pesticides over a matter of 1 to 2 years. And then these farmers must increase the concentration of chemicals in their pesticides, making them harsher on the environment. And when every time it rains, these pesticides are washed into your local stream, right into your drinking water. GMOs are also better for the environment because you don't need to do as much to the soil to grow them. Traditional farming methods requires a lot of soil treatment with chemicals and rototilling each year. The problem with rototilling is you're actually lowering the infiltration rate for that soil to take in water. And so when you get a heavy rain event, it washes those pesticides right into the soil. The soil can't hold all this water because it's been tilled too much, and it just erodes right into your local stream, carrying those pesticides with it. And the other problem with that is the sediment that erosion causes in your stream. Sediment is actually, by load, the #1 pollutant in streams across the world. The third benefit to the environment with GMO crops is they reduce carbon emissions. With factories booming across the world, carbon emissions have raised substantially over the past 30-40 years. Well, these super crops pretty much are taking in more carbon dioxide and producing more oxygen, which is beneficial to everybody. And my third main reason is that these GMO crops are made with enhanced nutrients. They're simply, the genes are spliced to produce better nutrients, And along with that, they make these crops allergen free. So some people that can't get potassium from a banana, for instance, well, they can make a GMO banana that takes care of an allergy you may have to that. Or same thing with apples, peanuts, things like that. And with world hunger being an issue, countries in Africa that are growing these drought-resistant crops now have these crops that are enhanced with nutrients. So these undernourished countries are not only getting a crop they can grow in their droughty conditions, but they're getting an enhanced crop, and a crop that is going to give them more nutrients. It's going to supply the people with the vitamins, minerals, and things like that that they need. And I have an example of this enhancement here. I looked long and hard for these at local markets around Mansfield. These on the right are strawberries grown without GMOs. These on the left are strawberries grown with GMOs. You can see the clear difference in size and color. So that wraps up everything I have to tell you guys for today. GMOs are potentially a solution for world hunger, and they have amazing benefits. They increase crop production, they are better for the environment, and they are much more enhanced with nutrients. Thank you.